Well, hi, Mark. Weapons is a brand new horror film directed by, I believe his name's Zach Kreger. And this is Argento, and he's pissed off. I'm sorry. I know. I held you for 2 seconds too long. Now you're mad. There he goes. Anyway, end is about things that I don't want to discuss. Did I go see the movie? The world will never know because that's all you're getting out of me. That's the whole review. I'm kidding, of course. I went to go see it. So, God damn, why are you so difficult? Am I even using this right? There we go. You gotta be smarter than a bottle opener, and I'm not. Um, So, weapons. I'm sorry. I was about to say cheers. I was reading the bottle cap of my Sam Adams Oktoberfest. The delicious tastes of fall. Weapons is about a classroom full of kids who, at 2:17 a.m. one morning, get up and walk into the darkness. And that's all I'm gonna say. No more plot for you. Go see the movie, which you probably already have. I feel like I'm pretty late on the weapons train. Um, but in case you haven't, I'm going to preserve the plot as best I can. So, I actually didn't know that this was by the same guy who did Barbarian until I want to say I watched somebody's review. I don't remember whose. Um, but I watched a review and they had mentioned that, and so that kind of got me interested. I actually didn't have this movie on my radar at all prior to hearing that, and then I heard that, and I think same day I was like, I'm gonna go see Weapons, or the day before or something like that. And so yeah, I didn't really have any expectations for this movie because I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't know anything about it. Like I said, I didn't even know that it was from the same guy who did Barbarian until like 2 days before going to see the movie. So, um, I think I went into this film as blind as a human being probably could go into this film. Um, and I think it was all the better for it. I say don't go into this movie knowing Jack Diddley shit. Just don't look up anything other than what I just told you and just go into the movie. Are you scratching the stairs? The little fuckers. I swear to God. Anyway, it's much better as a blind watch. But what I'll tell you is what I like about the film, what I maybe don't like about the film. Starting with the things that I like. I think everyone did a pretty good job as far as their performances. I think the movie shot really well. It's very nice looking. Um, the music is good. The tone is there's two sides of this coin here. The tone is probably the most interesting thing about this film to me personally, and it's probably what I'm going to talk about the most because I suppose I'll briefly mention the antagonist. I like the antagonist. I like this thing a lot. So as to not give it away, I'll just keep it very ambiguous and say this thing. I like the antagonist a lot. Um, and it's not necessarily what I was expecting. I didn't go into this thinking that it was this type of film. Um, but I think it's all the better for it that it turned out to be that type of film. Um, I had a couple of theories going in as to what was going on. Neither of them turned out to be true, and it kind of revealed itself to me later. This movie has a really decent sense of mystery. I like it a lot. I think that the plot unravels in a really satisfying way where you're kind of following uh, each of these characters on their own specific journey, and it's kind of split up, sort of like what film am I thinking of? You know, it's sort of like Pulp Fiction. Sure, why not? Except it's yeah, no, actually, I think that's a uh, pretty good comparison. A little like Pulp Fiction. It's split up a little like that, sort of into chapters. Uh, So yeah, that's kind of neat. I think that it does a really good job. Yeah, it does a good job of keeping you interested in each and every one of these characters. I find them to be pretty interesting people. Um, at certain times, although I did say that the acting was good. The acting falters a couple of times, in my personal opinion, and I don't know that it was necessarily the acting or how they were directed to act, because I don't know. Or maybe it's just the characters I didn't vibe with. There were a couple of times I kept going back and forth on the teacher character. Um, she specifically was like likable one second, and then the next second, it's like, I don't like you that much. And I kind of wish you'd get your face out of my face. And then, the next scene, you're like, oh, okay. You're okay. You're whatever. But, you're interested at the very least to see what happens with her, and you're interested in her story. So that's not too bad. um, sorry. Another thing I will say about the movie is, because I want, this is another thing that I'll actually reveal. I didn't say spoil because I don't think it's a spoiler, but this is actually a horror comedy. I wanted to kind of tamper your expectations at least, because I didn't know it was a horror comedy going in. I heard that it was a horror film that was kind of out of place funny at times. And so my mind went to places like Halloween 2018, where, like Michael Myers comes out of the closet, uh, and the little Julian, he goes, "Oh shit, you're gonna die, Paul," or whatever that guy's name was. So my mind went to places like that, not so much to horror comedy places. This is very much so a horror comedy. It knows that it's being funny. And that actually brings me to the tone. And the tone in this movie is really interesting because a lot of the times it plays itself as a straight faced horror film. When I say horror comedy, you probably think of something like Killer Clowns from Outer Space or Evil Dead 2, and it's nothing like any of those. It's very much so like parts of this movie are a straight faced horror film that are creepy, and parts of this movie are almost like full comedy. Like the way the movie is shot, actually, specifically, it's really strange, because I never really, as funny as it sounds, I never really noticed that there's like a specific way comedic scenes are shot until I watched Weapons. And then I was like, this is like shot just like a comedy too. This isn't just like, they're not just being funny right now. The camera's doing things that I've seen in a lot of comedies. And I don't know if that's purely coincidental, but to me, it stuck out. When it's happening, you're like, what the shit? Because like this was a horror movie 4 seconds ago, and now there's this really weird bright shot that's like super absurd and is very obviously supposed to make you gut laugh. And if it wasn't, my bad, because I did. Um, yeah, no, I laughed in the theater. I wasn't the only one. There was another guy in there laughing. Then there were four teenagers who didn't get it, who shouldn't have been in the movie anyway. Gosh darn it. Those gosh darn movie theater attendants letting teenagers into R rated films. Who cares? Who gives a shit? But no, it did piss me off a little though. And when the movie was over, they were like, "We should have just went to see Bad Guys too," or whatever they said. I was like, "Shut your fucking hole, having a different opinion than me." I, oh, I've been keeping my pimp hand warm, waiting for someone like you. Bad talking weapons. No, I'm kidding. It's okay. It's alright. Some people just don't get genius. That's my problem. No one gets my genius. That's what my mom tells me. Um, so yeah, the tone is really weird, and that's kind of a positive and a negative. I will say that sometimes it does kind of pull you out of the horror when goofy things are happening. Like something goofy happens and then something horrific happens, or someone's acting in a way that's like it's kind of weird, and then something horrific happens, or even with like the antagonist, there's kind of a duality to it where part of it is like this is creepy as shit, and part of it is like this is like I don't know, it's coming off like live action Cat in the Hat goofiness. Like not that anything that wacky happens here. It's just like the way the character comes off. It makes it feel like the fucking Cat in the Hat movie with Mike Myers. But overall, I think Weapons was awesome. I will say there was one thing in the plot that I didn't think made any sense. That's right. I don't know how to discuss this. Hold on. Let me think. Holding. Okay. There's something involving the main plot, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil any of it for you. Where I didn't quite understand what the movie was trying to say was going on specifically as it pertained to like the main plot point. Like the I'll just say I don't know what exactly is going on with the children and why it's happening. Um, like I get it, but I don't get why. Um, and that's all I'll go into as far as that goes. But at the end of the day, guys, Weapons is really cool. I think I liked it better than Barbarian. I don't know. All I know is that I heard this guy's making the next Resident Evil movie, and he compared it to Evil Dead 2, and I'm there. That's awesome. Uh, yeah, yeah. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I've never even seen a Resident Evil movie. I've only ever played the games." Yeah, you're saying all the right things, dude. So, after seeing Barbarian and after seeing Weapons, I'm fascinated to see what he does with Resident Evil. Whatever he does, I'm sure it's better than the Mila Jovovich movies. So, anyway, Weapons is gonna be like an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. I think that's a really strong rating. Um, I think that those missing points that don't get it to a perfect 10 really just kind of reflect my personal feelings and a couple of small issues that I had with the movie. But overall, yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I seriously recommend you go see Weapons. It is a lot of fun. And until next time, I think my cat just squeaked. It just went, ah, ah. Buddy. Until next time. Bye. I forgot that my outro thing was catch you on the next one. I'm a piece of shit. Oh, hi, Argento.